Alright, so this is my review of Grey Knight's 1/10 scale Guardian of the Horde, Queen of Shadows. And if anyone's familiar with World of Warcraft, which a lot of people would be, this is basically Sylvanas Windrunner. I'm not overly familiar with World of Warcraft, but I am familiar with, Sylvanas and some of the bigger characters. So this is definitely a character that a lot of people are probably very excited for. And I got this from Gundamit, so I paid a total of $85. So keep in mind that as of me filming this video, I already had this for a few weeks now, so the price did go up. You could find her on AliExpress. I did see some eBay listings. As usual, be careful, check the seller rating and things like that. Especially eBay. And at this point, I think those kind of resellers might be your best bet, but there's a lot of kind of Chinese third-party sites, which are very legitimate, that sell these figures. So, you could have a look around. But if it was me, I'd probably go for AliExpress, just get a highly rated seller, and you should be okay. I've been getting a lot of my figures from AliExpress. For anyone who's nervous about buying from AliExpress, I personally bought a lot of my figures from them. So I think that stigma's kind of gone at this point, that, they're scam artists, which I haven't found to be the case at all. Okay, so just some quick specs on her, and she's around 7 1/8 inches tall, and she weighs 3.6 ounces. So she definitely has some size on her, and just because I have this out from that previous review, I'll just show you what she looks like kind of next to the XCS rays. And if I remember, she's around 6.6 inches, so she's pretty tall herself, and Sylvanas is even taller than that. Now, they call this a 1/10 scale figure. I think, honestly, you could get away with calling her 1/12, because I'm pretty sure she's taller than, regular humans, Sylvanas. So I think you could definitely fit this into a 1/12 line. I'm not a World of Warcraft expert, but I'm pretty sure those characters are pretty tall. So looks nice either way in a 1/12 setup. All right, so just getting a closer look at her. And the face is very nicely done, like very sharp details. Camera might not be picking it up as well as I'd like it to, but just the eyes especially, it's just stunning. Like, very crisp, very nice sharp lines. I like the kind of like eyeliner bleeding down her face. And overall, just very nice details. And and I should mention that this is the pre-order bonus, which kind of comes with like the bare torso piece. So if you're lucky, you might be able to find the pre-order version on AliExpress, which I would imagine wouldn't be too hard, but yeah, have a look around. Otherwise, you might be out of luck, because it is a pre-order bonus, but I'm sure some in-stock sets would have this included regardless. Just check the seller description. If you don't get a pre-order bonus, she does come with this piece, just a generic armored one, so just something to be aware of. So if you do want it to look like this one, try to grab one with the pre-order bonus. Yeah. Yeah, and in general, like the metallic purples on her look great. Very, very nice looking figure. Very nice kind of like detail work with like the silver trim here. Looks very clean. Shading all over. And yeah, that's one thing I noticed with third-party figures. They're really good at kind of generously shading their figures. Really makes it look more realistic. And definitely a lot of effort put into it. So yeah, I think she looks great. Stunning, really. And for the price I paid, compared to the price, that a lot of these other kind of companies are charging, the bigger names, this is what I consider value. So I'm fully happy for the price I paid for this, like around $85. And yeah, she looks great. So I will go into her articulation now. Let me just get rid of these daggers. Okay, starting with her head, she is on a double ball joint here, so kind of like a barbell setup there. So for a hooded character, I think she gets pretty decent movement. Not bad at all. Oh, and just to mention, very smart of them, these eyebrows, they do flex. Same with their ears, kind of a softer plastic. So much lower risk of breakages. Her shoulder pieces are on a ball joint. That's a smart move for sure. And you see here, she does have a very nice kind of like torso joint here. So very nice forward movement. Very nice. And just keep in mind, she has soft plastic on the chest and that armor piece. So do be a little bit gentle. And she goes back very far. And that's combining the lower joint down here too. So very, very flexible, I think. Like forward and back, I think it's plenty. And you could really just kind of pushing her. That's incredible. So very, very nicely done, I'd say. Great diaphragm joint there. And yeah, just be gentle. You know, you don't want her like, you know, start marring up the armor while you're rotating this. So just take it easy in general with all your figures. And like I said, that lower joint is great. That's also a ball joint, a little bit tighter. Be careful, don't get too rough with it. It's not going to break. It's just, I've had mine pop out on me, so don't go too crazy with that one. Let's just take this, just to show you what's under here. It's a nice, simple ball joint there. And without that, our arms do go up very far, but you kind of need the shoulder piece on. You can take this out, by the way. So if you do want to have her kind of like a sleeveless setup, you definitely can. I prefer to just have it on. So while I have it off, very nice, organic looking double bend at the elbow. That looks great. And just your generic kind of ball swivel for the wrist. Kind of hard to get at because of the gauntlet, which is a little unfortunate. You do get a rotation out of it, but I feel like they could have freed up a little bit of space so she could get some movement, the swivel actually, on the gauntlet. A little unfortunate. Not a huge deal, though. Okay, looking at her legs. Now, unfortunately, her legs are a bit more bricked off than I would have liked because of kind of like this diaper setup. And this is one thing I really hate on figures in general, this kind of like adult diaper thing, because it just really inhibits articulation for no reason. Now, granted, I don't feel like it's as bad as like something like McFarlane's, but it is, and you could see it's kind of preventing her from kicking out as much as, you know, she potentially could. And she's a very agile character from the artwork I've seen. So you'd expect her to kind of go into like deep stances and crouches where you could imagine having this adult diaper does kind of, and it's not terrible. Like I said, just it could be, you know, even better than this. Like you could go up straight 90 if it was just like a, you know, plastic piece there with the right kind of swivel setup. Okay, and let me show you how far this goes. Yeah, she definitely does squeak. Keep in mind, I didn't oil this figure or anything like this. So she does go about that far. Don't push it because you don't want to like stretch that diaper piece. She does have a thigh rotation, and you know, good idea to, you know, oil these figures up. Mine's a little bit tight, but not to the point where it would break. Let's see. Double bend at the knee. Looks very nice. Doesn't look weird. Could be better, but can't complain. Let's see. Going backwards. She does go back a bit. Again, don't push that diaper. The diaper is really what's kind of, unfortunately, breaking it off a little bit. And the ankles. Looks kind of like a typical ball swivel setup. So you do get a swivel there, and you do get a ankle rocker there. Kind of kicks out better than inwards, which is awkward. Would have probably been nicer to have it the other way, but it is set up like that, unfortunately. You could probably twist this around. Let me see. Oh, not a huge deal. Yeah, but she does have a nice enough, I'd say. Definitely nice. So not terrible by any stretch. Okay, so I'd say articulation's solid. You could definitely get her into some kind of like archer poses, definitely. So I'd say her articulation's decent, could be significantly better. I think the weak point is kind of like, again, that diaper piece. And ankles, a little bit loose on mine, at least, but not end of the world or even close to it. Okay, so articulation's decent, I'd say. I would say kind of like her ankles, the kind of tension in them is a little off, but she could still stand very stably. Yeah, so looking at her accessories, just talk through them quickly. So she does come with, and I'll kind of, I'll show the weapons in detail just because they look so nice. So I'll just move her out here. And she does come with these daggers. They probably have a special name for them, but probably something straight out of the game. And I think that looks very nice. So that's very nice, kind of pearlescent metallic paint on these daggers. Handle looks great too. She comes with 2 of those, by the way. She does come with several sets of alternate hands. So she does come with kind of like generic open hands. She does come with bow gripping hands, obviously, just so you can see what they look like. Yeah, so kind of generic open hands to hold on to the bow, I guess. Kind of like the string pulling hands. And fists. And she does come with kind of like the blade gripping hands too. So definitely good set of hands there. Has what you need. She does come with replacement shoulder pieces here, like the kind of like the shoulder attachment if you lose those. So that's nice. Always good to see companies kind of give those easily lost parts in advance. She does come with an alternate head. Not really a fan of this one. It looks good. I prefer kind of a neutral face on her, but definitely looks nice. Like she does look angry here, so that's nice for sure. She does come with what looks like would be her signature attack. And that looks very nice. So you do get that also. You do get her bow, obviously. And this looks great. The detail on the bow is crazy too, so it has shading everywhere. And just a little FYI, if you do want her to hold the bow, just unpeg it like this first, and then just slide it through her hand. So instead of, kind of warping the fingers and stuff. She does come with this piece here. I'm honestly not sure what this is at all. If anyone's aware, let me know. I haven't really found a use for it. Just like kind of a folded up piece of plastic. Not at all sure what it's for. And finally, she does come with an alternate torso piece if you got the pre-order version. This is what she comes with. The pre-order comes with the bare piece like you see here. So just a heads up, this is the generic piece. Pre-order bonus is what I have on her right now. So just a heads up. Yeah. And I will mention she does have these pieces here. And this is kind of like move her eyeballs around. So for her face plates. Let me just show you here. Yeah. Camera's not focusing. Same color as the bottom of my hand. All right. So, but nothing really interesting to see there. Okay. So that's pretty much it for accessories. And overall, I think this is a great figure. And if you could get it, I'd say probably now is the time to try to look for it because she is getting harder to kind of find. So a lot of these sites like Gundam, I already know she's out of stock there, same as 5K Toys. If you are interested in getting her, I'd say, like I said, AliExpress, eBay, check the seller rating, make sure you're getting a new one. If you want the pre-order bonus, look for that specifically. And yeah, price is probably going to be north of 85. I've seen some for like 100 and 110. That's unfortunately just what the price is going to be now. Anyway, if you have any questions, definitely let me know. This is an excellent figure, probably one of my favorites that I picked up recently. Yeah, thanks for watching. Take care.